And now for our first dungeon, River Belle Path.
They say that wicked creatures prowl the road along this beautiful riverbank, but nobody's ever seen one. I once asked a man why. He simply replied, because anybody who happens upon one is promptly eaten. But it is long since anyone has met such a fate. But nowadays, people take another route, far away from the spooky old road. Only we walk the old way now, travelers in crystal caravans.
Single player, Mog can carry your chalice for you. And this is a little puzzle. You don't need to do it, but if you place the chalice on one end and stand on the other, or just two people stand on them, you can lower half of a bridge. There's another half of the bridge on the other side, and once you complete it, you can walk across it, but really, I don't see much of a purpose for it. It's supposed to be a shortcut, but if you are planning to do the entire level, I really don't see how it is one. Now, that little ball is Magicite. In order to cast magic in this game, you have to first pick up a corresponding element of Magicite in the game. Now I just picked up a Magicite of Cure, so if I cast it, I can heal myself. The other one was Fire, which I'm not going to use, so I didn't bother cluttering my inventory with it. But if I had picked it up, I would have been able to cast Fire. However, the thing about Magicite is you can only cast it while you're still in that particular dungeon. Once you leave, the Magicite is gone. Now, there are ways later on to get permanent spells, but it's going to be a while before we can get those, and they are fairly rare. Stone of Life. Use this to revive someone, kind of like a Phoenix Down. However, you can only revive other people. You can't use it to revive yourself, unlike a Phoenix Down. A Phoenix Down, you have it in your inventory and you automatically revive if you die. The only purpose that I'll be using a life for is to fuse it with other magic to cast other spells, such as Holy or Slow. Now this chest is fairly important. I just got a design for an iron shield. If you play as a Clavat or have someone in your party that is a Clavat, I really recommend getting the iron shield from that treasure chest, even if you have to come back to this level multiple times to get it. It's the next upgrade for a Clavat shield, and it's the first upgrade you'll get in some time. Unlike other characters' armor, for some reason you can't buy it in the shops, so you're going to want to get it here. I think the only other item that appears in that chest is a bronze belt for a Selkie, which is an improvement, but not much of one. Keep in mind you will also have to craft the item before you can use it. I'll get to that a little later. Artifact in here. Explain those a second, but first, the Moogle house should be right here. I don't know why, but it took me forever to find that one. Played through the game like 3 times before I found it. No matches yet. Anyways, back to artifacts. Artifacts are items that you can find in the dungeon. There are 4 on the field and 4 you can get from the boss. but when you pick them up, your stats increased. However, you can only take one out of you with the dungeon each time you beat a boss. So let's say you picked up 2 artifacts, one that increased strength and one that increased defense. While you're in the dungeon, both your strength and defense will increase, but before you exit the dungeon, you'll have to pick one of them. So you only get to increase your strength or defense. Now you can come back to a dungeon repeatedly and get more artifacts, the ones you've missed. You don't have to wait for the mer tree to replenish, which is what I'm going to do off screen. But for the most part, you can only pick one artifact at a time. So try and pick the most rare artifact you can find at the time. Be it something that is a rare artifact, such as pockets, hearts, or rings, or something that works well with your overall class. Let's say if you're a Yuke, try and get as many magic artifacts as you can find, and if you're a Lilty, try and get as many defense or attack artifacts that you can find. Or strength is what they're called, sorry. Designed for a novice weapon. That's a slight increase, but I have another weapon that I want to raise up first. Or craft, I should say. I'm so used to Echoes of Time, where your levels actually increase in, well, level. Now food is also kind of important. You can use it to instantly regain health. I'm not going to use food so much because for the most part I know where most of the cure stones are, and I'll probably be trying to obtain a permanent set of cure that I can use. So food will not be that important to me. Now I know these guys right here can be a bit of a challenge, but I really recommend taking them out right now because they have something that's useful for the upcoming boss. And I also did shatter an urn on the ground. As you can see, it's a pale blue now. I'm going to see if I can demonstrate that really quick, what I can do. If you cast either electricity or ice on a pale spot of water like this, it'll freeze and damage enemies as well as freeze yourself if you step on it like I did. Oops. Thought eventually, but be careful with where you cast it. Now I just obtained a Moogle pocket. As you can see, I just gained an additional slot. Also, if you are a Yuke or a Clavat, I highly recommend that you pick up the 2 Blizzard spells that just dropped and fuse them together to create Blizzara. The upcoming boss is going to be weak against ice, so it's a good idea to hit him with a level 2 ice spell if you're capable of casting one. Now, I'm capable of it, but as you can see it takes me quite a while to cast. So I'm personally not going to be using Blizzara for the upcoming boss fight. Instead, I'm going to heal myself when necessary and have a Phoenix down in the waiting just in case I die. If you are a Yuke or a Clavat, though, feel free to cast either Blizzard or Blizzara. Oh, a caravaner, Kupo. There's no mirror tree here, Kupo. Sorry, we can't offer you anything, Kupo. We just moved here, so there's really nothing to offer, Kupo. And true to what he said, I don't think you ever get anything here. However, I always thought this was this area's Moogle house, so it always confused me and I thought that there wasn't a Moogle house for this area. However, there is one, which I've already shown, so don't let it fool you. And now we get our first boss fight. I guess he started off by blowing bubbles at us. Now, if you get hit with one of those, it won't do any damage, but it will cast slow on you. It'll make you move a lot slower and take a lot more time to cast, so try and avoid it if necessary. As a Selkie, I may not have very much range in terms of magic, but I can hit a long distance with my weapon's focus attack, like I'm doing now. Thankfully, his powerful attacks take a while to charge up, like the electricity attack you just used, so for starters, he's really easy to avoid. There's also supposed to be a trick with this boss where you can actually, at the start of battle, run up behind him, he won't see you, and you can just keep attacking him without him even noticing. A glitch in the programming. But I've personally never been able to pull it off, so I'm just going to do this the normal way. Also, you notice once you take enough damage, his claw disappears. About a third of the way he changes forms, he gets rid of his claw. About another third of the way he's going to lose another part of it. But his attacks are a little different each time. In his second form, like right now, he tries to hit you more with his helmet, if that's what you want to call it. But he can't shoot out any more electricity at you. Few more shots and he should enter his third form. There we go. In this form, he will try to cast Thundra, second level lightning spell. Now I really would recommend avoiding this, as if you get hit with Thundra, you're probably going to be paralyzed for a few seconds and unable to move. Slow, he's almost dead anyway. And done.